Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape, the home of love. Love, the ability to become aware and accept your own wholeness, to accept the wholeness of others, to accept the wholeness of life. In other words, love is living a life without judgment. Pure and simple. If you're judging, you're not in love. At Agape, we teach a positive, practical spirituality. We teach Science of the Mind, written by Ernest of Holmes, combined with Tibetan Buddhism, combined with Hinduism, combined with all the great spiritual teachings, because in all teachings there's wisdom. And what we talk about at Agape is practical. And our practice is centered, number one, on meditation, and number two, on using your mind to create the life of your dreams, and that there is a power in you and it responds to the nature of your thought. So before we get into today's message, let's take a moment and let's go within. So I invite you to bring yourself to a comfortable, seated, upright position. Your back is straight, hands gently resting on your lap, eyes closed. Now you're going to breathe in 3 long, deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, holding for a pause, and breathing out through the mouth. All right, take a good, slow, long, deep inhale. Hold it, and now release. Again, slow, long, deep inhale. Hold it, and now release. Slow, long, deep inhale. Hold it, and now release. Now I want you to imagine a beautiful golden white light descending from above and entering into the crown of your head. And allow that beautiful, warm, calm, relaxing golden white light to move down through your forehead, into your forehead, into your temples, your ears, into your jaw, your cheeks, your mouth, your lips, and down your neck. And feel your head and neck just totally relax. And now take that beautiful, warm, white light, relaxing feeling and move it down into your shoulders, down your right arm, hand and fingers, down your left arm, hand and fingers. And feel your shoulders and your arms just totally relax. With every breath, they become more and more and more relaxed. Now allow that beautiful, warm, calm energy move into your back, from your upper back to your middle back to your lower back. Feel all the muscles of your back becoming loose and limp and ever so relaxed. Feel that warm light moving into your chest and down into your abdomen. Your whole upper torso is relaxed. Now feel that energy moving into your hips, into your sacral area, down your right leg, feet and toes, down your left leg, feet and toes. Your whole body's relaxed. Now in this relaxed state, I want you to ask the question, where do I need more balance in my life? Do I need more balance in my spiritual awareness? Do I need more balance in my human awareness? Do I need more balance in my relationships? Do I need more balance in my career, in my finances, in my social life, in my health, in having fun. And just sit and listen for a moment and allow your heart to speak to you about where additional focus would benefit you without caring what anyone else would think. What additional focus would balance you and bring you a higher quality of life? Just sit and listen for just a moment. Take a moment now and thank your heart for just being there for you. And whatever it is, let your heart know that you're going to take an action step on it today. You can take, it's a simple thing, just a simple action step, one step in the direction. And your heart will smile inside you. And it probably is just telling you, I'm here. I'm here to advise anytime you want. And you can come back here. All you have to do is take a couple deep breaths and ask the question and listen. So having taken time for you, start to bring your awareness back to this time, to this place, to your body. And when you're ready, begin to stretch. Move your fingers, your toes. If you want, take a big stretch out. Oh, so good. And now gently open your eyes and put a smile on your face. Do you feel like you're being pulled in many directions? Do you feel like you don't know where to go? Well, today I want to talk about the push and the pull of life. It's the battle of a split mind. On one hand, there's a part of us that deeply knows our spiritual truth, our eternal, infinite, and divinely connected essence. That beautiful part of us that is the witness to everything. And then, on the other hand, there's the ego. The part of us that's embedded in the physical world, obsessed with survival, separation, and control. That feeling of being pulled in two different directions is not just an occasional experience. It is the essence of the split mind, and it is the source of all suffering. One of the things that, if you look at your life, realize the perfect balance situation is that point between your breath. It's that point between thoughts. It's the point between living in the physical and living in the divine. And when we're attached to it being a specific way, and it's not that way, we suffer. And if we're attached to it not being a specific way, we also suffer. You see, let's examine this from each of the perspectives. The spiritual mind is the knower of truth. The spiritual mind is eternal. It's the seat of love, compassion, and unity. It understands that we're not separate from one another, from the universe, and from God. It knows that we were all created out of this infinite power and intelligence, whatever you want to call it, and it used itself to create from. So you and I are created out of, if you want to call it God, spirit, eternal mind. We're created out of God stuff, stardust. We're all created out of the same thing. And because we know the spiritual mind created everything, we know there's only one mind, and that's it. And our mind is a part of that mind. The spiritual mind operates from truth. It knows we are more than our bodies, more than our bank accounts, more than our roles that we play in the world. But we have identified that we're this body, we're this mind, we're our bank accounts, we're our jobs, we're our relationships. We're the roles, the mask that we put on in the physical thing. But the spiritual mind operates from truth. It knows that everything is available and we have the power to use it. It knows it can create at any moment, given the instruction. The spiritual mind, it whispers to us in moments of stillness, reminding us that we're whole, complete, and lacking in nothing. It's quiet. It doesn't yell or demand attention. Instead, it patiently waits for us to align with it, to seek out through practices like meditation, prayer, or simply cultivating awareness. It's always there. All we have to do is silence the ego, the monkey chatter, ask a question, and listen. And it is always, always there to respond. And what I have found is that the greatest question to ask it is, what is the next step? Not the end result. Don't give me the whole plan. What's the next step? What's the next way I can experience greater love? What's the next way I can be more loving? What's the next way I can open to a more abundant life? What's the next step to being a healthier, vibrant, loving, caring person? Ask those questions in the silence, in meditation, or just sitting relaxing. Even if you're sitting in a hot tub, your mind is just relaxed, close your eyes and ask the divine wisdom in you to give you an answer. It always does. On the other hand, from the spiritual mind, we have the ego, the voice of the spirit of the physical world. The ego is rooted in the material world. Its primary job is to ensure our survival. It's hyper-focused on separation. It sees differences, not unity, identifies with I and me rather than we or us. The ego is part of us that is rooted in the material world. Its primary job is to ensure our survival. And for that reason, it's hyper-focused on separation. Now, if you noticed in the world today, it appears that separation is the main thing that's happening out there. All the fear that's out there is causing us to not feel oneness, is it? We're separated based on political views. We're separated based on sexuality. We're separated based on our sexual preferences. We're separated based on our religious views. We're separated based on where we live in the world. Oh my God, everything is about separation. In other words, the ego is running amok and we're allowing it to run amok with us. Let me be clear. The ego isn't inherently bad. In fact, it has a purpose. It helps us navigate the physical world. But the problem arises when we mistake our ego for our true self. When we allow the ego to dominate, we feel disconnected from our spiritual truth, and that's when our suffering begins. When we're tapped into oneness, when we're tapped into truth, there is no suffering. Living with a split mind, a mind that is not balanced, creates a constant tension. As the spiritual mind calls us to surrender, trust, and love, while the ego pushes us to control, compete, and protect. See the difference? I like to think about capitalism, it's all about competition. But I like to think about capitalism as collaborative competition, where we come together and seek what's in the benefit of all, knowing there's enough for everyone, as opposed to competitive capitalism. I like to have a relationship where I surrender my freedom to be free, or I surrender my right, my desire, not my right, my desire to control my partner. And my partner surrenders their desire to control me, rather than to control. See, a true relationship is when the mind is centered on spirit. When the mind is on ego, we're trying to control. That's where codependent relationships come from. Codependent relationships are all about controlling the other party to have our needs met. And that's not the role of a relationship, and that's why relationships are not working, because we're trying to control. We're not coming from spirit. Spirit wants to be free. It wants to experience as much life. It wants someone to support us as we grow and we awaken, to ask us great questions. The ego doesn't like questions. The ego always wants to be right. Can you go into a conversation with someone where you know there's opposing view and say, you know, I'm willing to be wrong about this, and here's my view? man, that opens up the door to new ideas, new information, and conflict falls away when you say, I'm open to be wrong. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it can be to live in the ego's world? The constant striving, the constant worrying, and constant complaining, and how it drains you? My God, it's amazing what that ego does to us. And we allow it because we have forgotten our truth. And we've identified that we are the ego and we are the body. You see, when we become aware, we tune into the spiritual mind. Even for a moment, when we do that, everything changes. It is where we find peace. There's an inner knowing that we're already enough, and that we are deeply loved, and that all is unfolding as it should be. The spiritual mind reconnects us to our inherent truth. So think about this. I said that all is unfolding as it should be. What does that mean? It means that the predominant nature of your thoughts, combined with your feelings, combined with your actions, are creating your life experience. You see, you were given freedom to create your life experience. There's not good or bad. The law that creates, the power that creates, gives you who you are. And who you are, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your feelings. And where you're aligned most, rest assured that's where your experience is going to be. The spiritual mind, when you get into that meditation, you know wholeness. You know you're not missing. But you know, it's fun to be in the human form and to use the power of the spiritual mind to create. Not to take from anyone, but to create for you. So how do you bridge the gap between the spiritual and the human mind? The number one step is cultivate awareness. Become aware that you have a spiritual mind. Become aware that you have a mind that is the mental, the physical world. That's just the way it is. Just become aware of it. And then next, pause. Pause and connect. That's where you meditate. That's where you just take a moment. Meditation, one of the greatest gifts is it gives you 3 seconds before you react. When you do that, you can ask the question, is this my highest expression of love? And that'll stop you from doing something stupid. So bridging the gap, pause and connect. And then surrender to life. Accept what is. Because you can't change the past. So why fight it? Accept what is. Whatever it is, accept it. Let whatever negative energy is coming move through you. And know that it's not going to affect you, because you can choose if an energy affects you or not by your attachment to it. But if you're accepting what is, there's no attachment. So the pain goes away. You see, the ego provides us with challenges that help us grow. The spiritual mind offers us the wisdom we need to navigate those challenges. Together, they create the conditions for our evolution. Our evolution is to become more aware of our truth and experience as much of this life, this human life, as we can. That's why there's duality. Our job is to live in harmony with both aspects of our mind, to use the ego as a tool while staying rooted in spiritual truth. That's simple. It's not easy, but that's the work. Every day, we're at choice whether to let the ego dictate our story, or will we step into truth of who we are, a divine, infinite being, here to express and to experience love. What I understand, and I hope you will understand, the choice is always ours. And the good news, every moment offers us a new opportunity to choose again. That's the good news. In fact, that's why the gospel was called the good news, because in it Jesus taught what? It is done unto you believe, and the power is in you, not just in me. And the Father within me, like the Father within you, will respond. Again, the good news is you're not locked into your past. You're always free to make a new choice and see the truth of who you are, that infinite divine power and presence. Love, personified, individualized, uniquely as you. Give it a shot. Discover this balance. I promise your life will be so much better. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to be a part of the Agape community and to connect more, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Go to the calendar or go to the events page, see what we're offering. A lot of our stuff, almost all of our stuff is online, and you're welcome to join us. Every morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, I do a guided meditation for 20 minutes. Love to have you join. Or classes will be starting up again in January. Would love to have you in a class. Anyway, also while you're here, if you got something, make a donation. Go to the giving page, sign up. And if you're a regular watcher, sign up and become an automated giver. Your gifts give us the resources to bring this message in the ways that we do. And we would love to expand that. So know that your gifts are valued and we appreciate them. And we're here to serve you, becoming your greatest self, however way you choose. With that, it's a great day to be alive, and you can make it so.